gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck 'cause it's your birthday.
Curiosity killing that cat. Damn Taz, how you do it like that? Curiosity killing that cat. Damn Taz, how you do it like that? Rolling the back.
I love touching and squeezing all over your body. Love when you strip, make it drip, baby, we can get naughty. Hopping on top, make it pop, she gon' ride my little shawty. Bad little freak, so my sheets, now my knees getting weak, cause she sucking me sloppy. I love touching and squeezing all over your body. Love when you strip me.
Wagwan gang, we back in this thing. Y'all already know what it is. It's 1500. You know what it is. Like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. So look, today, Steve Lindsey is in the building, dropping mad gems, going crazy, you feel me? He produced, like, classic. I'm talking about from 50 Cent to Dr. Dre, all types of stuff. So I just wanted to give y'all this little intro so y'all can see. You're gonna see all the gems. This vlog is gonna be a lot different than my typical vlogs, but this one is all about the gems and everything. And I got one of my favorite guys in the building. What's up? Wagwan gang back in this thing. You already know 1500 the gang, but yeah, Steve Lindsey upstairs. They're going crazy. So this the little intro. I had to get Lamarck in the building. Dino's finest, you already know. So we about to go upstairs. So when y'all watch this vlog, it's not gonna be a lot of action and motion, but the guy upstairs, he's got it, right? Steve Lindsey, he to go.
Oh no, yeah, the truth.
When I was a kid, now I was a classically trained pianist at 5, okay? I was already doing competitions at 10. And then my mother felt like that was too stressful, you know. So she just decided to stress me out on her own. That's how it worked. No, I had a great mom. But I also had an unfair advantage that most people don't have. My father was a great conductor and a great arranger. And was Judy Garland's conductor and arranger, Barbra Streisand's. So I saw like a million rehearsals and shows and my entire life. And so, you know, hey, but there were 6 kids and I was the only one who became a working musician. Everybody else became a professional. I was kind of like the loser in the family. So, you know, I dropped out of college, all my sisters and brothers, you know, like PhDs and et cetera, et cetera. So when I was like 13, I wanted to be in a rock band really bad. Like I think it was 1970, 1980. He and I were buying off time. We wanted to be record producers. We didn't want to be just the guys playing this stuff. We want to be the producers. Well, who's going to give us that job? Nobody. So how do we do that? Well, we didn't, you couldn't do shit. There was no such thing as a laptop. You had to go to a studio and buy time and go in there and make records. That was expensive. So we found the studio in, around La Cienega, what's it called, I forgot, Pico, you know, called Hit City West. Kind of a dive studio with this cheap Soundcraft board, but we could buy off time from midnight to 6 in the morning. So we went in there after all these sessions. We go in there at midnight and 6 in the morning, call friends, and get, you know, because hey, no drum machine. I mean, you know, not really happening yet. And we're in there with like guys playing till 6 in the morning. And so finally, about 3 months into this, I said to Dennis, I said, hey man, like we're spending like $300 a night here. I said we're gonna spend, you know, $30,000, $40,000 this year here if we do this every day. And I said, how much is this gear? And he said, like, I don't know. So I said, well, let's go over to Coast Recording, which sold all this stuff. Long story short, we both decided to build the first home studios in Southern California. Out of necessity. Nobody had done it. So we bought like a $10,000 board. Not $100,000, $10,000, maybe it doesn't have any automation. Got a tape machine, Atari, and then I had a garage in Venice. I had my friend who was a soundproofer for me and build this little room inside of a room. And it sounded pretty good in there for some weird reason. and I had a friend build a patch bay for me. And, you know, I don't know, I invested maybe 30 grand into this thing, but I had the first home studio in Southern California, and it is documented because people thought I was crazy. Mix magazines to malls and bang on drums in parking lots and take that back and sample it. So it's like all my days were like working in there and making samples and making stuff that nobody had. And then those demos were getting out there, and people started calling me like, "Can you recreate that demo for Shaka Khan?" And I go, "Yeah." And I went truly, this is no bullshit. I went from losing money every day to my fee got up to $10,000 a day for me to show up. So Brenda Russell, now I had done sessions for Richard Perry before. And Richard, you should look him up. I mean, he did, you know, all the Pointer Sisters records, he did, you know, the Carly Simon stuff. He holds the record for the most top 10 hits by any one producer by most varied amount of artists. So he's had hits with, you know, with Carly Simon to Tiny Tim to, I mean, just to Willie Nelson to Julio. I mean, he did all those Rod Stewart records that sold like, you know, 50 million copies. The ones that are the standard stuff. I mean, I said, "Really?" She goes, "Would you like to meet Leonard Cohen?" I said, "Yeah." So she brings Leonard over the next day, and we sit. And he goes, "Man, let's go. Let's just go to dinner." And we go, "Okay." So we go out to dinner, and we're just talking about stuff, and we, in that discussion, we were discussing lyrics, which I've been drilled into my head from Richard Perry for 7 years now on the importance of lyrics and how they, and I got the gig, I know, based on not my musicality, because everybody was good at that point in time, you know, because I understood lyrics. And this guy would have 50 great verses for every song. Most people can't write 2 great verses. This guy would have 50, and then it was like being a soundboard with him, like going back and forth on like which one's fit, because you can't do a 50 verse. But they were all like, damn. You guys coming in?
No, he said I was giving it to her. I'm out of here.
So one day, a girl was arguing with her boyfriend, and she said, "Papa, don't preach." So he said, "Well, phrase it pays. I'm going back to the studio." So he goes back to the studio. Now, he doesn't write a song about a girl in a Taco Bell parking lot yelling at her boyfriend. But he takes that and comes up with a completely different story, which is, you know, "I'm coming to my dad because I need some advice, because you told me not to be with this guy. You could be a loser, but Dad, don't preach because I'm keeping my baby, but I need some advice." So who's the baby? Is she pregnant or is she keeping the guy? Brian doesn't say it directly. He makes you choose that because in 1982, when this was written, you couldn't write the song, "Dad, don't tell me I have an abortion." Okay? So he's leaving the gray area for you to decide what this song, you know, who the baby is. Okay? But he leaves clues along the way. You know, like when we get to the second verse, the lyric is like, "My friends say to give it up," meaning like give up the guy, or give up the baby. You don't know, because it's like that's a typical thing to say about giving up a child, right? In an abortion. But he's walking this line pretty good. Now, he made this song for an artist he was developing named Christine Vieira, and the album was really good. I was a producer at Warner's at the time, and he was a producer at Warner, and he and I were friends. I mean, I worked on this stuff, and he took that album in to Mo Austin. They heard the album, and they said like, we're good. That song is going to Madonna. And he was going, no, it's for my artist, you know, like, I've been developing this artist forever. The greatest thing that ever happened to Brian Elliott is that song went to Madonna. Because Brian has never had to work since then. I do a lot of music supervision. I know the price tag on this sucker, and it's like, if there's a girl going down the street, you know, jiggling around, and they go like, we need Baby Got Back. What other song are you going to get for that scene? None, because they don't exist. The price tag on that license is in the 7 figures. Because it's the only one that exists, and it's the perfect example. I mean, this song is such a masterpiece. It's unbelievable. Okay? I've been like, I have a daughter that's 10, and I've gone to her school and like, you know, the little performances, and I was a bunch of white girls, okay? And they're all up there doing Baby Got, they know that lyric, the whole thing, the little performances, you know, just like how do they memorize all that? Because it's so carefully designed for you to remember it, and it's a lot of lyric. That's why it's such a masterpiece. You got a bunch of 7-year-old girls who and there's no prompters or anything. They know it. And it's like 3 of them doing it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake that healthy butt. Baby got that. Well, probably the thing I'm most known for in my little friends know, the thing that you probably heard me most on was the theme to Jeopardy. I played the synth on that. And Wheel of Fortune and all the Merv Griffin shows. Damn. Wow. So Merv owned the Beverly Hilton at that time, and I called him because I was working on another show with him. I said, man, I'm like, oh, my wife. He says, listen, I'll give you, take one of the cabanas at the Beverly Hilton. You can have it until you get back on your feet. So I go in there now, I got nothing left. Now, lawyers, blah, blah, blah. I got nothing left except for this little joint venture at Windswept, which I have nobody signed to. And I go I better figure this thing out, because this is the only thing I have. Well, probably the thing I'm most known for in my little friends know, the thing that you probably heard me most on was the theme to Jeopardy. I played the synth on that. And Wheel of Fortune and all the Merv Griffin shows. Wow. So Merv owned the Beverly Hilton at that time. And I called him because I was working on another show with him. I said, man, I'm like, oh, my wife. He says, listen, I'll give you, take one of the cabanas at the Beverly Hilton. You can have it until you get back on your feet. So I go in there now, I got nothing left. Now, lawyers, blah, blah, blah. I got nothing left except for this little joint venture at Windswept, which I have nobody signed to. And I go I better figure this thing out. I said, here's 2 baskets. I said, give me the best of East Coast and the best of West Coast, and tell me why. So he's all excited. And now the reason I separated is because I knew I had to do the West Coast hip hop thing because I didn't have the money to get back east. So, he's, but I said, I want to know everything. So I go off for a week and listen to every one of these records. And I determined by listening to all these records that the best producer I could possibly talk this thing into, the best producer was Andre Young, who produced Straight Outta Compton.
Yep.
Which, after listening to all these records, I said, man, that is the Sgt. Pepper's of hip hop. So, now 40-year-old white guy, just produced Celine Dion. How am I gonna get to that guy? Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something. This is a very unfair advantage I have. I have angels, I swear to God. I put it out there in the universe, it comes back to me. So I have journals I keep every day, and in those journals are my goals. And those things do come true. Not all of them, but I would say 98%. So the ones that don't come true are the ones I shouldn't be wishing on. So, so on a Saturday morning, he brought 50 back in. And just for some unbelievable reason, 50 came up with this, go shorty, it's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. And he knew at that point that if he kept it, he had happy birthday for the new millennium. But Dre's all about being dangerous, so he wasn't gonna call the song "It's Your Birthday." Right. He kept the title "In the Club." Okay. But when you think about this song, what do you think? You don't think "In the Club," right? You think "Go Shorty, It's Your Birthday," right?
Look at my chips, yeah. I'm getting